next 30 minutes, we'll be finding out what those career superpower secrets are to blast away the career blues for my September masterclass. And thank you for the emojis. Feel free to keep those coming. If it's available to you and meaningful to you, I invite you to make your own acknowledgement. And where I live, work, and play is located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples of the Kikite First Nations. A little bit of housekeeping for my members. You will find the session guide in your membership portal, and the PowerPoint will be posted there in the next 24 to 48 hours, just making sure I don't have any last minute tweaks I want to do. And there will be replays in your portal as well. And then for people who are guests, welcome, and you'll be able to have access to the replays on YouTube and Facebook, as well as the links on my website for those replays. And if you have a look to the right of the platform, where I know a lot of people are used to Zoom, we're on AirMeet today, and there's a questions tab off to the right there. So you're welcome to pop any questions in there, and I will have a look at those at the duration. And if I don't get to the questions during our 30 minutes, I'll cover them afterwards, or if there's one in between, I'll make a recording and have that information to you afterwards. And as I mentioned, there's also YouTube and Facebook Live, and the replays will be there too. Follow, subscribe, like me if you are enjoying this content and would like me to make more. I'd love to hear from you and see your support in that way. And let's just also invite you to grab a pen and paper. I'm hoping that something I say here will offer you some insights and give you some ideas about how to blast away career blues, and maybe you'll have your own ideas about how to do that. And so if you grab a pen and paper, or maybe you're a more digital person, so you'll prefer your computer or tablet or phone, some way to record those nuggets that I hope that you'll experience in the next 30 minutes. I want to share this quote for you from Gloria Steinem, and it is a prompt to give you an idea of one of the secrets that I'm going to be revealing today. Without leaps of imagination or dreaming, we lose the excitement of possibilities. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning. I welcome you to see if you agree, disagree, what that evokes for you, and to carry that quote, maybe make a note of it, a screenshot if it touches you, and put that in your forefront or the back of your mind as we're going to continue on this time together today. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rachel Newton. I'm an integrative career coach in Vancouver, Canada, on the west coast of Canada. My accent is not Canadian, it's Australian. And I did my own career pivot 13, 14 years ago from corporate, in particular the tech industry, into what I'm doing now. And what I do now is help clients find their career superpowers. The time before, when I was in corporate and did a lot of different other different things, is what I call the wandering my vocational desert. But now I'm in my career oasis. So I look to help clients find their career oasis and to be unapologetically them and find meaningful work in their careers. I also developed my Entrada method that you can find out more about on my website as well. And I've got more information if you're interested. And we'll just be giving you a taste of some of the things that I help and support my clients with. Speaking of my clients, I want to share with you one of the clients that I worked with who was in his 40s when we were working together intensively. He had been in a gaming company here in Vancouver, a well-known one, global, and he was a senior director in that role, but had experienced some confidence challenges that had been building, especially when they did a reshuffle and a restructuring in the department, and he found he had a new manager, and there was some disparity of opinions, and his career anxiety really increased during that period. So he found himself at a crossroads. He wasn't enjoying his career anymore, and so he wasn't sure that he wanted to stay in it. And we uncovered through that what he was missing was he at one time it had been his dream job. It had turned into a nightmare because his career anxiety was so intense. By the time we were working together, I helped him. Together we rediscovered his career joy and what he enjoyed in his work, and then also found that he was able to tap into his creative side. So he wasn't as stressed and anxious anymore going through our process. And what he came to as a result is that he would prefer to take the very brave step to go out on his own and become a consultant and an entrepreneur. So he did both of those, and he also tapped into his career as moving towards a career artist. So he's now got a variety of different options for himself that he's doing. He's much happier, and so his life and career well-being is much better. His confidence has increased through the roof, and he's able to feel much better about his self-esteem. He has a lot more autonomy and independence, and where he's working now is more in touch with the original work of what he enjoyed in his career. He's got a lot more autonomy and independence, and his values are aligned with the people that he's working with now, which is wonderful. His superpowers he found to be creative collaboration and getting back to grassroots in terms of startup. So he loves creating things, and so being able to touch into those in the work that he's doing. And his creativity is displayed in his technical job as a consultant, but also in his looking and branching out as a career artist as well. So those were his career superpowers that we uncovered together. He kindly shared these words with me. Rachel Newton has profoundly transformed my perspective on life and opened me up to countless opportunities. She demonstrates unwavering dedication to my growth, tailoring her expertise to my unique needs. Her ability to inspire and empower is remarkable, guiding me to discover strengths, passions, and values while pushing me beyond my comfort zone. And I thank him for those kind words. We're still in contact, so I hear from him every few months, and it's wonderful that I can keep in touch in that way. In the meantime, let's help you discover your ABCs to work your dream. And when I say your ABCs, I have chosen these ABCs that I've been doing for the past few months based on what are the core attributes of what I see in my clients who do a successful transition, much like the client that I shared with you earlier. And so these may not be what you think of ABCs, and I would encourage you to come up with your own. Our agenda for today about the career superpower secrets, there's 3 of them, to blast away your career blues, is that we're going to set an intention. I'll do a quick review of the career DNA, and I'm going to share those 3 career superpower secrets to blast away your career blues. And we'll do an activity to help you discover your career joy. And I'll offer you a September growth opportunity every month. I like to help you challenge yourselves and take ownership and see what you can do to grow, much like, again, my client felt and had said about growing as we work together. Let's take a breath. And in taking a breath, I'll invite you to set an intention, and you might want to look at this flower that I took on a walk with a friend as a focus for your intention. And just for the time that you have today and where you are with focusing your intention is where your attention is going to go. You've invested this time in you. And so how can you have the best possible outcome for that? What do you want for this time? And you get as much as you give. So I'm going to take a few moments and let you hopefully jot down at least one thing of an intention in a moment, and it could even be more. Okay, that was literally only 3 seconds, but in the interest of time, you might have your intention bubbling up for you, or maybe you captured something and hopefully there is something there. A quick reminder, or new for people who aren't familiar, that about your career DNA being as unique as the physiological DNA that's in your body, and that's based on your experiences and you as a person. And there's more information about this in an earlier masterclass. You're welcome to go and catch that replay. To remind you or introduce you, there's 3 elements, and there's energy, known talents, and recognized talents. And those talents are talents that you enjoy. So that's important. And this is what makes up your career DNA. And then out of this is how you discover your career superpower. And for today, the elements and the secrets of helping you chase away your career blues and find your career superpower is health, imagination, and joy. And what I'm going to offer to you is that as we focus on these 3 elements, we reduce our stress, we reduce our anxiety, and we can have a more flourishing life in our personal life and our career lives. For all health, imagination, and joy is going to help us with that and to cultivate that. Looking at health, I want to share with you this quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi says, "It is health that is real wealth, and not pieces of gold and silver." I invite you to take that quote and again see what comes up for you, if it feels true, and what that means for you in terms of that quote. What I have found is that when my clients are healthy, it's easier to take on the challenge of career change. And there's 3 areas here to help you do that. So getting, first of all, the idea of health, and not just in one dimension. It's not just physical, but it can be physical, mental, emotional, it could be spiritual, energetic, or source, whatever that other element is for you. It could also be health in different areas of your life. There is the more conventional health, but there's also career health, financial health, social health, relationship health. And if you're looking for more clarity about that, my wonderful assistant Yash will put a link in the show notes in terms of a clarity tool to help you get more clarity around that. And that can help you focus on what area of health might be helpful for you. But there are 3 elements here that I'm going to offer for in terms of helping you chase away your career blues. And for that is physical activity to help contribute to your health, practicing some grounded practices like mindfulness, and then maintaining a healthy diet. So very briefly, for the first one is like, moving. You might walk, you might run, you might go to the gym, or if you don't have a practice where you're actually going and training regularly, how can you start to incorporate more movement into your day? Can you park a bit further away when you do go grocery shopping or shopping, so you're walking from the car? Can you take stairs instead of the elevator? So just small things like that. I'm standing right now, so I suppose I could be bouncing up in my chair, but I am standing right now. So at a standing desk is another way. I've also seen people on treadmills and exercise bikes with their computers, but I'm not that coordinated. But maybe you can be that coordinated. So just some ideas like that. And then for grounded practices, that could be mindfulness, meditation, yoga, qigong. There may be some ideas that you've got for yourself that you do, in terms of just breathing and just whatever. It could be dancing. It just could be something that helps you focus. And it could even be something like your version of prayer. Then third, the maintaining a healthy diet. So not just what you're putting into your body, considering that, but also what you're consuming in terms of in the digital world, online and the computer, on your phones. what you're watching on TV, listening to in terms of content. So that sort of diet too. So what are you consuming? So those three for health is physical activity, practicing some grounding practices, and then maintaining a healthy diet. And hopefully this is helping you think of some for your own. The prompt here that I'll offer to you that you may want to write down and consider later is my relationship with health is, and dot, dot, dot. So I'll let you finish that. And then the next one is imagination. When you ignite your imagination, you can be more open to possibilities and opportunities, so you can see into a brighter future. It can also, again, help you relieve stress and bring down your anxiety. Particularly with my clients, it's career anxiety. And so by fostering creativity and embracing imagination and igniting that imagination, that's going to really help your nervous system to calm and ground. And again, there's three offerings that I have here. It's engaging in creative activities. I had shared with you my client earlier was able to tap into his creativity again and get into that flow state. And then finding joy in daily activities. So just making what seems your day-to-day chores are a little bit more sparkly, a bit more interesting, and then take yourself out of your comfort zone. Do something that scares you every day. So for the first one, engaging in creative activities, it's just you could be like painting, drawing, writing, photography, cooking, gardening, or just like, some of my clients like doing improvisation, just something to be creative. In terms of that, and it could be conventional creativity or it could be something different. And then adding a little sparkle to find joy in your daily activities. My clients, and I do this too, have shared with me about when you're doing the dishes or you're folding clothes and doing chores, just to listen to podcasts or books or audio books or music, something inspiring, just to give that extra little bit of evoking imagination. It could be on your commute, whether you're on transit or in your car going to and from work, or just to the shopping, going shopping and doing other errands. And then the final one, to do something that scares you and go out of your comfort zone every day, even just in a small way. And maybe this is uncomfortable. If it's the first time that you've done something like this might be something new for you as well. So that is the three of those: engaging creative activities, find something and daily enjoy in your daily habits and routines, and then to venture beyond your comfort zone. And then the prompt here is, my imagination is sparked when, and finishing that off. The final pillar here, the final secret to chase away your career blues, is cultivating joy. And this is a bit fuzzy because this lovely puppy Jean-Luc and I were playing tug of war and he was shaking his head, but we were both having a lot of fun and experiencing joy. And animals are wonderful for that because they just play and they're so present. And one way that I offer for in terms of, if we're happier and we're experiencing joy, we are experiencing much better hormones, we feel better. The technical terms are things like oxytocin. I always get that. I always get it mixed up with the drug, but oxytocin and dopamine. And so these are all things that, like the feel good, the fuzzy, warmy chemicals in your body that are just emitted to make you feel a lot better. And so that again can really help reduce your stress, and it'll help you feel more fulfilled and just happier in life, in your career. So the three elements here I offer are celebrating your achievements, and then building supportive relationships, and embracing gratitude. So the first one, in terms of achievements, I talked about, there was a your awesome list, and so there's some more information in a past class about that. I invite you to have a look at that. But just right now, I want you all to give yourself a pat on the back and celebrate you for being here, for taking this time for you to be here and invest in yourself doing this. And so it can be small or big. And then in terms of building supportive relationships, of just, even if you just have one person that you can reciprocate with and that can sometimes that you need people around you to hold the joy when you can't make contact with it. So people to inspire you, and it may be people from afar too, but ideally if it can be people who are with you. And thank you for the emoji and inspiring me to keep on going. And then finally, embracing gratitude of just there's a whole science around being thankful and grateful towards others and then yourself. And again, that raises the level of all those good feelings. And there's a whole neuroscience behind it I won't go into. But if you can start appreciating others, appreciating yourself, that's what you're going to be paying attention to. So you can't help but feel joyful. So those three places, hints, suggestions for cultivating joy are celebrating achievements, building supportive relationships, and embracing gratitude. And these might be some things that help you feel joy, and maybe you have your own that you'd insert into here. Very briefly, I want to help you discover your career joy. So grab that pen and paper and jot this down, of just asking yourself the question, what makes my heart sing? So in here, just like, what is really going to make you feel joyful, make you feel happy? And if this isn't the right question for you, your version of that, of just like, how can you be happy, relaxed, at peace? We talked about flow before, in the zone. What makes you get into that state? Take 9 minutes of quiet time, at least 9 minutes of quiet time on your own, and just sit and answer that question for yourself. What makes my heart sing? And when you're doing this, don't filter yourself. Just be candid. Just let write. Doesn't have to make sense. Just let yourself free write. And if you're not sure what I mean by free writing, let me know and I'll send you some information about that. But just to let yourself go and be free in that. And if you're not a writer, maybe you want to just talk out loud and record it and do an audio. And if it's really hard doing even that, just maybe grab a trusted friend or family person that you can do that with as well. And then you might be adding to your list. So this could be a daily or weekly practice. So feel free to add to that list of what makes my heart sing. So some ideas to help you, in particular for your career, is think about your past career experiences and back to a time in your career when you felt joy. I told you about my client when he first started, before he was his dream job, and he was so excited. So can you touch back into that? Or if there's areas when you had that sense of joy and happiness, and finding that again. And then again, if you use the prompt of the different senses, of like, did you see something? Do you remember seeing something? Do you have a picture in your mind of a time of career joy? Like maybe when you saw your offer letter come in, you were really excited, or you got a promotion, or you just received something, acknowledgement from someone, or an award. That could be what you received. And then hearing, did you hear something? Like, did you feel or touch something that was meaningful for you in your career? The smell of coffee, if you're a coffee drinker, or hot chocolate or tea, so good smells, or someone cooking cookies in the office, or biscuits in the office, are just like some good smells. And then the taste of that, it was just like those sorts of small joys and big joys from your career. So as an example. And then having a look at some examples from your history of just like, were there times when you were in teams and collaborating, brainstorming by yourself or with a team? Were you doing a new activity and that was really joyful and interesting for you, and doing creative problem solving, mentoring, and the list goes on. So there'll be something here for you that I invite you to evoke for yourself. And if you can't find it from work, here's a list about taking it outside work, because sometimes you might just feel so mired down in stress that it's not feeling like it's available at work. So talk about me playing with my friend's dog before, or children playing, hiking, cooking, some of those things. And then then working about out how that can overlay into your career. And ultimately taking that list of what makes my heart sing in terms of finding your career joy, of just how can you cultivate that for you? What choice can you make? And as you look down your list of writing after you've done your at least 9 minutes, of just like there might be some patterns there, some messages. And if you're not doing things that bring you joy, but you wrote it down, just questioning yourself about that. Finally, just these practices of incorporating the strategies for health, imagination, and joy are going to take time and commitment. If you would perhaps look at cultivating some new habits to bring those in, but by prioritizing life, igniting your imagination, and cultivating your joy, you will ultimately reduce your stress, have less career anxiety, and feel that your work is more fulfilling. And then you can chase away those career blues, by enlisting these strategies. And career change can be challenging. So hopefully some of these tools and techniques will be helpful for you. And I'll offer for you the September growth opportunity. Each month I offer you a challenge and opportunity for yourself, and to explore your relationship with health, ask that question. And then also any patterns when your imagination is sparked. And if it's not being sparked, that's information too. And so being curious about that. And the third one, to write down 3 moments of joy each day. And then finally, discovering your career joy, and what could your action step be for that. So the question here is, what will I commit to do this month to proactively bring more joy in my life and career? So what could you have done by October 13, a month from now, to proactively bring more joy in your life and career? And we just check if we have any questions here, and no questions here. And I did have a couple of questions, but I will cover these after. And then just to honor the time, because we're winding down here, just going to take a few seconds to see if there's something helpful as takeaways here for this time investment. Were there 2 or 3 takeaways that you might write down? So I'll just be silent for literally a few seconds. So hopefully something bubbled up for you, or it might bubble up for you afterwards. And a quick review here as we wind down is, we did our case study with my client, set an intention, quick review of career DNA and your career superpower. The 3 secrets to chase away your career blues are health, imagination, and joy. We did the Discover Career Joy activity, and your September growth opportunity was offered to you. And there's some questions I'll have a look at in a moment, and a couple of takeaways here. And just a quick reminder about career DNA being unique and a mixture of energy and talents to help you find your career superpower, and that the formula for career well-being and chasing away your career blues is health, imagination, and joy. And if you would like to join my membership and my other wonderful members here, I'd love to have you on board. There's information about that in the show notes and on my website for my membership, and the extra resources there and extra support. And we'll be meeting together interactively next week about that for our meeting this month. And thank you to everyone. There will be in the show notes a feedback form link and a gift that I am going to offer and bribe with for anyone who gives feedback, whatever that is, so it can improve what I do. And that will be the What Makes My Heart Sing worksheet for our non-members, and then the Love and Loathe list worksheet for my members. So I'd love to hear if there was some feedback there. I hope to see you all again for next week on Tuesday for K in our ABCs, which is Know to Grow, and talking about career agility in the AI era. And that will be the same time, but on Tuesday next week, September 19th. So I hope to see you there. And here is my contact information for those of you who don't have it already. I'm available on different parts of social media or old-fashioned phone, email, and my website there. Gone a minute or so over, but I just want to say thank you to everyone for staying here, and I will answer these couple of questions that came in actually from clients when I was telling them about this topic. And the questions here, I'll pop them up, and then I'm going to bring down my just to say thank you if you need to go, and then you can listen to the recording to answer this. But thank you everyone for being here, and I look forward to hearing how you can use some of these secrets to blast away your career blues and ultimately work your dream. Thank you. So the first question here was, how can I turn these into career joy? And that was talking about that list of the list of the career joy list that wasn't to do anything to do with work. So it was outside your career. So I'll speak to that in a moment. And then the other one was, how do I find joy in a job I hate? So what I'm going to do is stop. I'm going to stop presenting here and answer that question. And the first, and if this evokes any other questions, feel free to let me know. But the first one, in terms of how do you find what can you do to turn that list into career joy? So when you've made the list of just, yes, it might be personal, but to overlay that and see if there's anything that you actually looks familiar to anything that you do in your work. As an example, if it is that you enjoy doing dinner parties, as an example, and planning, you might not realize that the planning and all of the pieces that go into that are actually like planning projects at work. And so perhaps there's more planning that you could be doing at work, and you could offload and see if you can delegate to somebody else for the aspects that you're not enjoying in your work. Or it could even be that there's other creative ways that you could be more engaged in your work. So that's just a couple of ideas as you go through your list, and then have a look at what you're doing in your day-to-day and just see, is there any of this that I can actually bring into my career? So first of all, making that list and then working out what it is in your day-to-day. So that's just a very brief way of looking at that in terms of turning into career joy. And then the other question was, how do I find joy in the job I hate? So one of them is to actually go through that. When I was talking to this client, he hadn't seen the career Discover Your Career Joy. So I would invite him to do that. But in terms of a discussion, what we talked about in the moment was, first of all, is it really that you hate your job? Like, there's nothing, is it true that there's like nothing that you can find that you don't hate about your job? Because oftentimes, if we have the sense that we hate one thing in our job, it can have this dilution effect, and it can affect everything, and it can make it feel like everything in our job, in our lives, is miserable. And so you might want to start breaking it down to, like, is there just one element of my job that I don't, maybe joy feels too strong, but even starting with that neutrality. So is there one thing that I can at least tolerate that I don't hate? And then building on that. So the first question to ask yourself is it really everything that you hate about your job? And oftentimes when I ask that to clients, they're just like, well, no, there's this person that I like, or there is this project that I did, or it was a really long time ago. So they've forgotten that they actually used to enjoy that, but then it got all piled on by other things that they don't enjoy anymore. So just finding these clues and these breadcrumbs to career joy is one way. And even just looking for neutrality at first and then building it on. So can that be something I could leverage, that I could enjoy more? And so that's a couple of ideas about how to actually find that. And then if the answer really is that no, I hate everything about my job. I hate the people, the environment. I hate the work. I hate what I'm doing. Just just if it really is true, then there's a harder question, and there's more work to be done for yourself to work out. Okay, so why am I staying here? What's keeping me here? There's a reason, and so that goes into it. That would be a whole nother workshop there. But this is all information, and so it might seem a little bit out of the realm to find career joy when you're feeling a lot of hate and misery about your job, but at least that could be a possibility to work through. And so by using that beautiful imagination of yours and having curiosity could hopefully help you lead to career joy as an aspiration. And with that, if there's any other questions that come up, do let me know. Thank you for those who stayed, for all of you who are in the room here who stayed longer until after the extra time. And once again, I look forward to seeing you next week. And for my members, I'll see you in our mastermind, and I look forward to hearing how the week has gone and what your career blue secrets might be as well. Take care, everyone, and enjoy working your dream. Thank you.